Thank you so much, Robin. And I'm so happy to be here. Are you guys really excited to see Crist? It's awesome, right? So I'm very, very thankful to the St. Johns County Democratic Club. They really helped me out in my campaign 2 years ago, where I was running up against a white male MAGA former law enforcement individual and beat him. I was like, so that's an important story to share because it actually can be done here in St. Johns County. And it is so important that we do it this time. We have to get out that blue vote at this midterm election, okay? Unfortunately, I've got a lot of beefs with DeSantis, and I will tell you that law practice that Robin mentioned, he shut it down by signing a bill into law that basically anyone who has the chutzpah to challenge a development here in the state of Florida will get stuck with attorney's fees from the developer. That pretty much closed my public interest environmental and land use practice, like that. So it's important. It's these little insidious marks, these little death by 1,000 cuts. I've been a lifelong Democrat since I was 18. I was so excited to vote. I'm so excited to see some younger people here. And the two issues that I always voted on were women's rights. This is my uterus. Keep your politics out of it. And the environment. I am a passionate environmentalist. And I think we all are, right? But I will tell you the one other issue that really has changed me is the fact that I became a mom 14 years ago. I have 2 gorgeous sons, and every day that they go to school, I'm terrified I'm not going to see them again. Gun violence has got to stop. These are beautiful, handsome boys, and I do not want to lose them. I will tell you, my younger one goes to Sebastian Middle School. And I'm so glad to see you ladies. Actually, if you could stand up so we can get some attention on these shirts, right? Moms demand action, right? My younger son, Wyatt, goes to Sebastian Middle School, and they have gun pat-downs all the time. That poor kid has had active shooter training since he was in 2nd grade at R.B. Hunt. Can you imagine? I asked him, I'm like, is this on your mind? She's like, every day, Mom. Every day. Okay? We have got to get some politicians in office like Val Demings and Charlie Crist so we can once and for all deal with these issues. So I'm so excited for the energy in this room. Thank you so much to the St. Johns County Democrats for having me out here. And I'm going to give this back to you, Robin. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you. Commissioner West. All right, and next we are joined by City Commissioner Barbara Blunder. Barbara, yay! Okay, so quick introduction to Barbara Blunder. She is an associate professor of natural sciences at Flagler College. She was instrumental in creating Flagler College's flagship Coastal Environmental Science program. She has a degree in zoology and marine biology as well. And so she has worked with the Florida chapter of the Nature Conservancy, and she previously worked as an environmental scientist as well at the Florida Park Service, and as a conservation planner for the Nature Conservancy. Commissioner Blunder is also very accomplished, and we are so fortunate to have her elected in office in the city of St. Augustine. So it's over to you, Barbara.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you inviting me, Robin. I'm here because of Marie and Robin and everybody else's hard work in canvassing and getting involved and encouraging people to vote. And I could never have done it without them. It's kind of cool. The reason I jumped into running for office as a city commissioner, I never had political, aspirations whatsoever. But the reason I ran is because it's kind of cool that one of my former students is here, Devin, and he, now we've got young people. And we've got young people, college-age young people that care about the issues that we care about, and we need to encourage them to come up. I see Donna DiLorenzo back there too. She was involved with the college for a long time and knows exactly what I'm talking about. But the reason I ran is because of them. They inspired me to run. I've devoted my life to conservation and helping to improve the environment in every way that I could, and I felt like I could go the extra mile if I ran for city commission, and I know I'm making a difference there. And that is a very... thank you. It's humbling to have the support that I have had, and I work even harder because I know I have that support. But I didn't stop. I'm a scientist. I'm always learning. And as I told Marie when she asked me, what are your issues going to be? What about affordable housing? I'm like, I don't know. I'm a scientist. So it's been really cool to get on the learning curve and understand how the environment is influenced heavily by people's struggles in terms of their economic struggles and so forth. Our environment is deeply influenced by that throughout the world. And so that's something that's an obvious connection to me. And so I am proud of our city. We do have 3 Democrats on the city commission, but we also have 2 Republicans. And we share values on the important issues like the environment. We share values on important issues like homelessness and affordable housing and workforce housing. And that has been a great lesson to me, that when we do share values, we can work across party lines. And I really hope that we can do that, stop doing what we're doing at the national level, stop doing what we're doing at the state level, and start talking to each other again. I encourage everybody here to vote at every single level, and encourage other people to vote. Devin might have been in one of my classes where I encouraged my students to vote, and I did not bribe them, but I did offer 5 minor points of extra credit if they showed me an I voted sticker. I didn't ask them who they voted for. I didn't want to know. I told them specifically, don't tell me who you voted for. But, if you get engaged in the process, you have a voice. And what I also have learned as city commissioner is that the littlest local elections, following all the way up through the legislature on preemption, home rule, this is where exactly what Jane was talking about. It's 1,000 little cuts that make a difference as to whether we can stop, or not stop development, but have smarter development, and development that is beneficial rather than a detraction to so many of us. So again, I encourage you to stay as well versed as you can on all of the issues. Write your legislatures, stay involved. I know I'm speaking, I'm speaking to the choir here, but in any event, I really appreciate everything you do, and thank you for giving me a couple of minutes of your time.
Thank you, Commissioner Blunder. All right, and with that, I would like to just point out, give a shout out to Kiara over here. Stand up, Kiara. This is the president of the Flagler College Democrats. All right. Woo-hoo! All right. Okay, so next speaker we have is Commissioner Murgo. Justin, where are you? Justin. He's all the way back here. Okay, here comes Justin. Justin is a commissioner for the St. Johns County Airport Authority. Okay? And Justin is awesome. He first started out working in Democratic politics in the Kentucky Young Democrats, and later at the University of Kentucky College Democrats. See where this can lead you? And he also has spent a lot of time in the military as an infantryman, later as an aviator for the U.S. Marines. He's deployed 3 times in the 2000s, including in Iraq in 2003 with the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force. He then earned his Master's of Business Administration at the University of Florida. He worked at the FDIC. He worked at the FDIC during the housing crisis. helping financial regulators clean up from the aftermath of the housing bust and the Great Recession, if y'all remember that. And then in 2018, he successfully ran for the local airport authority board, where he has served ever since. So, Justin.
Hey, everybody. Big thank you to Robin Dion and Marie Garnes. She's, where you at? There she is. And thank you for having me today and inviting me to come speak to you all very briefly and talk to you about what we're facing right now. But I also wanted to say 4 years ago when I was just a candidate, I couldn't have done what I did or have been nearly as successful as I was without your help. It was absolutely 100% instrumental to my success, so I can't thank you enough for it. So. And it's good to see a couple other friendly faces. Sue, I see you there. And just to see you again after many months, in some cases, even as much as a year. Lovely to see you all today. All right, so pardon me for referring to my notes, but we got to get fired up. We got to get ready to go. All right, so I want to hear you that you're fired up. All right. This is an important election. We hear that a lot. But this one really counts. This is an opportunity for us to send a message that Florida is no longer an incubator for red state partisan shenanigans. We know who our current governor is, not by what he says or what he puts out in his TV ads. We know who he is by what he does. And make no mistake, the current occupant of the governor's mansion in Tallahassee, he's not a moderate, but he's a hardline partisan who delights in being a bully. And like all bullies, he's picking on those who cannot defend themselves. He bullies school children wearing masks in the midst of a pandemic because they want to protect themselves or their loved ones or those who may be at risk. He bullies government workers, statisticians, scientists, whose job it is to accurately count the numbers of friends and neighbors infected with COVID and those who tragically died as a result from their infection. He bullies Mickey Mouse. Who bullies Mickey Mouse? He does. One of the largest and most successful corporations in our state, Disney. He bullies the legislature into taking away their ability to effectively run their own municipality. And why? Because as a corporation, they decide they want to recognize LGBTQ month. And then he does the same thing to the Tampa Bay Devil Rays for the same reason. He bullies at-risk teens, those among us who identify as gay or trans, and their families who are seeking support and medical care. He bullies the aged and the infirm. When he refuses, along with his predecessor, of expanding Medicaid and accepting Obamacare, to extend health insurance to those who need it most. He bullies immigrants seeking political asylum for no logical reason other than to score political points and own the libs, whatever that means, and to out MAGA the rest of the Republican presidential field. And he bullies voters, you and me, who recently, by our own approved ballot measure, regained the right, restored their voting rights. He sent armed sheriffs to their places of residence to arrest them for voting, to send a message to those in those communities. Do not vote. And lastly, and probably most importantly, he bullies Florida families by forcing women and girls to give birth when they clearly are in no position to responsibly do so. He bullies all women of childbearing age and the men and women who love them. Many women, victims of assault, will find themselves forced to carry their rapist's baby to term. A pregnant woman whose water breaks at 17 weeks can't get the medical care she so desperately needs. She will die if she can't get a safe, medically necessary abortion. A 10-year-old girl forced to flee her very own state because she can't get access to medical care that she needs. A 14-year-old girl can't get diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis at a very young age. She can't get her doctor prescribed medication because she could be pregnant. This is just the beginning. The human suffering that they intend to inflict on all of us knows no bounds. So what do? Obviously, we vote. But not only that, my message, my one takeaway to each of you today is talk to others. Talk about what's at stake. Convince them to vote. They cannot afford to sit this one out. Now is the time for all of us to get involved. Let our voice be heard. Convince 5 friends to get out and vote. When you've convinced 5 friends, convince 10 more. When you convince 10 more, convince 20 after that. Talk to them about their plan for voting. Talk to them about how they're going to vote, where they're going to vote, the manner in which they're going to vote. Explain to them the options that they have. They can vote by mail. Early voting is an opportunity. Or if they're having a hard time getting to the polls on election day, offer to get those who aren't as mobile to the polling site, to their polling site, if they can't otherwise get there. So yes, an important election, they all are. This one certainly is. This is an opportunity to tell the world who we are. Florida is no longer an incubator for the MAGA agenda. Instead, we are a diverse group, accepting of those who may look different than we do, and fierce defenders of freedom and what it means to be a Floridian and to be an American. Let them know we do not tolerate bullies or their cronies. Here in Florida, we stand up to them. Here, we fight. Let them know.
Wonderful. Okay, and I see that it is 1 minute to 1 o'clock, which is when the governor is to arrive. Is Philip in the room or is he outside? He can give us an ETA. Oh, okay. All right. So why don't we take a little break, and he should be arriving momentarily. I'll go out and greet him, then y'all can come out, shake hands, whatever. Then we'll gather back in, and we will, I'm sorry? She could. Do you want to say a few words, Trish? Okay, Trish Becker. She is also an elected official, all right? And she's running for re-election. So this makes it double whammy here.
All right, well, hi, everyone. I know the last time the bus was here, I went on a little bit long. I won't go too wild today, but I just want to thank you all for being here and being a part of the solution, right? We can complain all we want about stuff. We can complain all we want about minimum wage, climate change, racial tensions, all of that stuff. But until we do something about it, all we are is just air, right? We're just saying stuff. And we know that Democrats are outnumbered almost, 3-1 here? So like Justin said, we need to, everyone you know needs to vote, okay? People are upset with me because I am nonpartisan in my role, but I'm a Democrat at heart. And so that comes with a lot of challenges that other people don't have to deal with. I'm a school shooting survivor. I'm a first-generation American. I have a lot of things on my plate that some might not like. And that's just too bad for them. I have a lot of things on my plate that I don't like about what people are doing. So I decided to run for office. So that means if a big loudmouth like me who started the Locals Women March here with my 2 friends, if I can do it, I can bring a new and sometimes radical voice. That means all you college students, I'm looking at you to come up next. And some of you that are retired, I'm looking at you to come up too, because there's not really an age limit, right? We can go on until we feel good. So I hope that everyone you know is ready to vote. make a vote, and sometimes not everyone we like is on those ballots. So figure out who's going to do the best job. I know sometimes that's a little bit difficult, but for mosquito control, you know that I'm going to do the best job, right? So I want, in this little small room, I have to do it. Can you guys show me what democracy looks like? I couldn't hear that. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. I almost believed you. Let's do it again. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. There we go. We're ready for Charlie Crist to come on in and show us what the new governor's going to look like, right?
Thank you, Trish. All right, we had somebody who just mentioned, please note that we have the list of Democrats that are on the ballot this election, okay? These are all of them, okay? If they don't appear on this card, guess what? They're not a Democrat, okay? And there are actually only, I think, 2 races in which we don't have Democrats running, okay? So please make sure that you get one of these before you leave today, okay? It even talks about the judges and the constitutional amendments and everything else here, okay? They are at the front desk, and there's a stack of them out on the table out front, too. I'm sorry? Put it on your refrigerator. All right, very good. All right, let's take a break and see what we can see. All right, thank you, everyone. for giving Governor Crist such a wonderful and warm welcome. Woo-hoo! You know, with less than 3 weeks to this, 19 days, okay, to be exact, it really cannot be said enough. Democracy is on the ballot, right? Here, all over the country. But I have to say that here in Florida, it's not only democracy, but it's our personal freedoms, our personal liberties that are also at stake. I just want to say that I moved to Florida about 9 years ago. I was happy from Washington, D.C. area. And I was going to retire here and just have a nice, happy, pleasant life in the warm sunshine state, right? But, my joy at the beauty of this place has really been tempered by the hostile and threatening environment that has been created by Ron DeSantis in this state. Who hasn't been threatened? Children, teens, women for sure, teachers, senior citizens, migrants, immigrants, right? African Americans, retirees, basically anybody who doesn't look like him, think like him, or act like him. That's really what it boils down to. But I can envision a different Florida, a Florida where people are kind and where people are accepting of one another regardless of party affiliation, and where democracy is protected and where we can be assured that our personal liberties are protected. So people ask me, why am I voting for Charlie Crist? Well, okay, why not? But I think there's better than why not. I really do. Yes, he's our Democratic nominee for governor, but beyond that, I'll make it really, really simple. I am voting for Charlie Crist because on day one, he is going to protect every woman's right to choose. Number one. He's going to veto any anti-choice legislation. He's going to repeal DeSantis's Don't Say Gay law. He's going to protect all LGBTQ Floridians. He's going to put an end to the book banning, right, and the censoring of teachers' discussions. He's going to reverse DeSantis's anti-democratic voter suppression policies. And he's even going to help Florida transition to clean and cheaper sources of energy in our state and make Florida a healthy and safe place to live. So with that, I am honored and deeply grateful to be able to present to you our next governor of Florida, Charlie Crist.
Thank you, Robin. What a great chairperson you have. Isn't she wonderful? Robin, where'd you go? Oh, there you are. All right. I want to thank all of you for being here. I'm overwhelmed. I really am. I mean, this is great. So it's gorgeous outside. You could be golfing or at the beach or hanging out with your friends playing whatever it is you play, some card game. Or at any rate, you're here. You're here, and we're 19 days from Election Day, right? And that's not a long time, but it's enough. And we're going to beat this guy. We do need to beat this guy. And it's going to happen because of you. Because of the fact that you turned out on a, what is this, Thursday? The days are all running together for me now. On a Thursday afternoon when it's as beautiful as it is in our beautiful state of Florida, it tells me everything I need to know. You can't beat this. You cannot beat people power. I don't care how much money he's got. I don't care how many commercials he runs. You know, he's running more commercials than I've seen on Camp Lejeune. And that's a lot. You've seen those, right? It's insane. But we have right on our side. We really do. He is on the wrong side of history on about everything.
Actually, I think everything. Really. And so let's just start with basic fundamental decency. You know, being good to people, treating our fellow human beings as they deserve to be treated. And the craziest example I can cite about that is this stunt he pulled in Texas and flying those Hispanics, Venezuelans in particular, to Massachusetts with our tax dollars. I mean, dear mother of God, you know, it's just unbelievable that he is that callous, that he is that cold, that he's that uncaring. You know, these people were coming here seeking asylum from a socialistic regime. And that's what he's creating right here in Florida. And treats them worse. And, you know, there was a baby on that plane, a pregnant woman on that plane, and he didn't care at all. He just wanted to make a political statement for his campaign for president in 2024. You know, he's trying to out-crazy Abbott in Texas. Oh, yeah, it's a contest of the craziest. That's who they nominate anymore. And it's heartbreaking to see. But while he's doing that, he's forgotten you. And he's forgotten our Florida. And that's unforgivable. When you're governor of a state as great as Florida is, as wonderful a place as this is to live, you ought to cherish every minute of that opportunity to help our fellow Floridians. And get off your high horse about trying to run for president in 2024, because on November 8th, that whole show is over. Over. And one of the main reasons is what I'm going to talk about now, and that is a woman's right to choose. I can't believe the bill that he signed this spring, the 15-week bill that has no exception for rape or incest. To me, that is unconscionable, unimaginable, inhumane, outrageous. I mean, you know, who would want to make a 12-year-old, 10-year-old girl who is the victim of rape or incest have to carry that fetus to term? Are you kidding me? That is absolutely barbaric. It's medieval. Yet it's what he believes is good. He thinks that's good. How can anybody think that's good in any world? I know it's awful. I'm an only son. I was raised with 3 sisters. Right? So I got schooled on this early. And I understand it's important to respect everybody. Respect women. Respect men. Respect black people. Respect white people. Respect gay people. Respect straight people. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. I wear this yellow wristband every day. It says, practice the golden rule every day. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. We're all children of God. If Ron DeSantis ever knew the golden rule, he has clearly forgotten it. And I know why. Because to succeed in his party, my former party, I'll own up to it, is you have to be bad. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, because if you're nice like we are, they won't nominate you for dog catcher. They don't respect decency. They respect culture wars. You know, he talks about this CRT thing, critical race theory, that we shouldn't teach it in our schools. Hello, Ron, we don't. Instead of traveling around the country worrying about Iowa and New Hampshire, you ought to spend a day in a Florida public school and see what the reality is. And don't say gay. Put that into our school curriculum. What are you talking about? Since when is that part of the curriculum in the state of Florida? It isn't. He creates problems that are fictional, don't exist, in order to try to separate us, and divide us. He is divider DeSantis. He is. He really is. That's why he's going down. You know, I have run into, he is, you know, people talk about polls all the time in campaigns, and I've seen 3 public polls in the past 2 weeks. One of them had him up by 7. Another one had us up by 6. You come with us on the trail. All right. And then the third one I saw had him up by 1. What does all that tell me? Pollsters don't know what's going on. They don't. They really don't. It's an industry that's like suffering and, you know, bleeding badly. It is. Let's be honest. So, you know, here's the reality. Whoever votes wins. It's up to us. People say to me every day now, Charlie, you better win. And I said, well, it's in your hands. You better vote. This is not a difficult equation to figure out. We vote, we win. But not just you. Get your husband or wife. You know, your children, your friends, the people you go to synagogue or church with, everybody you know, and tell them, look, if you haven't mailed in your mail-in ballot already, how many of you got one? How many of you sent them back in already? Okay, the rest of you get busy. But in all seriousness, now we have early voting, which begins October the 24th. That's Monday. That night, I debate this person. I hope you watch. It's at 7 o'clock. And I think it's on CBS affiliates. Is that right, Grace? Yeah, I think mostly CBS. You'll find it. I have faith. And, yeah, probably. Yeah. Oh, yeah, well. He may not, because he's full of such hubris and arrogance. And he's not ready for what's coming, but that's okay. So anyway, that's when early voting begins, the 24th. So you can do it in person. You can even take in your mail-in ballot and hand it in person, starting then. I was just reading a story this morning about early voting has already started in Georgia. Some of you have seen this already, right? So, well, I'll tell you. Their surge, hello? Their surge in early voting in Georgia this cycle right now is surpassing what they did in early voting in the presidential race. All right? Pollsters didn't expect that. But I guarantee you they missed it. And I guarantee you what it is. Women. Your right to choose, and that freedom is what's driving this. And if you need any further evidence to that fact, and it is a fact. You've heard of Kansas? Yeah. Remember, they not long ago had a referendum on a woman's right to choose. Now, Kansas, mind you, is red. Red. Movie red. Blood red. Whatever. And overwhelmingly, in Kansas, with an overwhelming vote, they passed a referendum protecting a woman's right to choose. Fast forward to, you've heard of Alaska. So they had to have a special election for a Congress member because their congressman had passed away, God rest his soul. And so the two opponents were a Republican woman and a Democratic woman. The Republican woman, her name was Sarah Palin. I know you've heard of her. The Democrat won. Beat the former governor of Alaska on this issue. This issue. So we got overwhelming turnout in Georgia in early voting. We know what happened in Kansas. We know what happened in Alaska. Look, Florida is more purple than Kansas or Alaska. A lot more. You know, generally speaking, we're about a third Democratic, about a third Republican, about a third independent. That's the definition of purple. So if that happened in Kansas and that happened in Alaska, I'm not brilliant, but I'm smart enough through common sense to figure out what should happen in Florida. Our victory. Our victory. So, I have a challenge for you. Anybody got a bumper sticker? Yes? A bumper sticker? One of mine, preferably. That one. Do we have more of those here, Grace? Do you know? Please take one of these on the way out. Please, and put it on your car before you pull out. We have 19 days. Okay? That's not a whole lot of time. That's for you. But it matters. And you might think, oh, okay, so a bumper sticker, big deal. It is a big deal. You ever heard the expression in life that it's the small things that matter? That's Exhibit A. It is. You're in St. Johns County. You know that. Well, I know that too. And you got over 50,000 Democratic votes here. Right, Madam Chair? I listened. She goes, we've got 50,000 votes here in St. Johns County. I said, that's incredible. That alone wins this election. You know what the margin of victory was for governor 4 years ago? 30,000. Not 50. You have 50. 30,000 was the 32,000 was the margin of victory out of over 8 million votes cast. We know this about our statewide races. They're always close. This will be again. And St. Johns County can win it. And you will. And you will. So, you know, there's so much he's done bad. Let's talk about education for a minute. He runs a commercial on TV about what all good he's done for education. What a liar. I can't believe it. You know, we have 9,000 teachers and staff that have left Florida schools on his watch. On his watch, 9,000. It's unbelievable. The way we pay our teachers is embarrassing. So we're now the third largest state in America. And we're 48th out of 50 states in terms of what we pay our teachers. You believe that? And we have the largest budget in the history of our state. And we're doing that to teachers. Way to go, Ron. You're terrible on education. You treat teachers like dirt. 9,000 have left the state. How would you like to be a teacher under Ron DeSantis' reign? No, absolutely not. When I was governor, even in the Great Recession, we were in the 30s out of 50 states in terms of what we paid our teachers. He's second to last. And it's not the recession. It's all about your priorities and where you put the money that you do have and how you fight for a better education for our children and keep our schools safe. Let's talk about safety. Crime is up in Florida on his watch. And Republicans talk about crime. Well, we're going to talk about crime Monday night. You know, no pat on the back to you, Ron. And what's a big problem that's causing it? Guns. Gun safety. I own a gun. I don't want somebody to control it. But I do want gun safety. I want gun safety. And if I'm elected, when I'm elected, we're going to ban assault weapons in Florida. Yeah. Common sense. It's common sense. You know, Ron lives in a Florida that has experienced a lot as the result of assault weapons. The Pulse nightclub in Orlando. Parkland School down in South Florida. I mean, and the list goes on and on and on. And it's wrong. And you know what his solution to it is? He wants open carry and more guns. 80% of the murders that happen in Florida happen with a gun. And Ron wants more of them. Is he stupid? Maybe. I mean, he went to Harvard and Yale and he can't figure that out? Well, maybe I only went to Florida State University, but I can figure that out. It's unbelievable. So, with your energy, with your enthusiasm, with your determination, we win this election. We win this election. And let me give a plug for Val Demings. Did she do great the other night? Wonderful. Wonderful. It's a hell of a ticket. You know, we got some candidates we can be really proud of and really fight for and really stand up for. But our candidates only reflect what you already are. Good, decent people who care about the future of our state and not our candidate's political future, like Ron. That's all he cares about. Really. I mean, how else do you explain the crazy stuff that he does? There's no other way to explain it. He talks about how free we are as a state. Well, evidently not if you're a woman, or if you're a local school board, taking decisions from them, or if you want to, or an ex-felon and you want the right to vote. We'll bring that back. 19 days. 19 days. That's all it is. And it all turns around with one election. There's only two people that are going to be in that debate Monday night. One of those two is going to sit in the governor's chair. And the legislature in Florida is going to send that governor a complete ban on abortion. And if I'm in the chair, it gets vetoed. And if Ron's in the chair, it gets signed. Not a difficult decision to make, is it? It's crystal clear, no pun intended. Or maybe. Listen, I want to thank you for being here this afternoon. I can't tell you how encouraged I am by you, how warm I feel with you here in St. Johns County, in St. Augustine. It's a beautiful place. Beautiful place you've chosen to live. And we're going to make it more beautiful in 19 days. Okay? God bless you. Thank you. I can't help but look at this behind you. Hope. Hope. This is all about hope. And my friends, help is on the way. Quickly. If any of you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Anybody have a question? Yes, ma'am. You'll never have to do that again.
Super socialism is brought up in the debate. The Democrats seem to back off, and they say other things, oh, you're a liar, whatever. When they bring up socialism in that debate, you say, I want you to tell them, well, if being able to afford your medicine is socialism, that's what I want. If having transportation to get back and forth to work is socialism, that's what I want. Fight that really hard because the Democrats seem to be back off. As soon as they hear that word, they get scared. Oh, they're going to think that's really socialism. It's not.
I know it's not. I know. I will. I will.
I'll be listening.
So will I. So will I. Yes, sir. What's your name? Thank you, Joe. My middle name's Joe. There's no bad Joe, and it starts with Biden. I am so proud of our president. Can I just say that? You know, this guy stands up and stands out and does not back down. And the other day he had a press conference about, restoring Roe and saying when we get a Democratic House and Senate again, that the first bill he's going to push is to restore Roe versus Wade. God bless him. God bless him. Yeah.
Remind them of FDR and the New Deal, because that was a very important part of getting America out of the depression. And that's what President Biden is doing now. And that's what Democrats will do. And all of these Republicans who have their hands out now for Biden's Build Back Better, remind them that's a Democratic president, that's Democrats at work, and that was Franklin Delano Roosevelt. There you go.
There you go. You're darn right. Thank you. And you know what? You know how many terms he served as president? 4. 4. They had to change the Constitution. He was so popular. He'd be in his 5th or 6th by now. Yes, sir.
How about the ecology, climate change, rising sea level, and stuff? Can you push on that? I mean, that's a field for young people. It's not imminent, but it's important and it's tough.
I think it's past eminent, to be honest. It's a great subject, and it's important. All you have to do to know that climate change is here and now is Hurricane Ian. Horrible storm. You know, that was the most deadly storm in modern Florida history. Over 100 people lost their life. Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? It is to me. So yeah, that's a great point. We're going to talk about it every day of the 19 days left. Yes?
As someone who works in a special district, can you please get everybody on board to champion our special districts? There's a lot of push now to get rid of them after what happened with 50, but now there's pushes to get rid of places like Independent Casino District and Bolton Waterways.
Yes. Well, listen, this is what the Republicans used to always talk about, that the government closest to the people governs best. And that means local government, local districts, local cities, local, county rule. And, yeah, I mean, when I win, those attacks on local governments are going to go away. Because you elect your local school boards, you elect your local mayor, you elect your county commission, and because they're the people that you decide are best for your community, right? What right is it of Governor DeSantis to come in and tell your school board what to do or not do with the kids in your own district? None. He's big government. He's the socialist. He's the fascist, and that's wrong. Yeah, so this is the banning the books issue. Banning the books. Can you imagine? I mean, what are they going to do next? Burn them? I mean, it's unbelievable, right? And never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that any governor of Florida would be instituting this. But that's where we are with this guy. That's where we are. Well, there's one way to stop it. It's in 19 days. And that's what we'll do. We'll take care of it. Listen, I got to get back to Jacksonville. I can't thank you enough for being here. God bless you. Take those bumper stickers. I hope we have enough for everybody. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Everybody, if we could get a group photo outside in front of the bus, that would be awesome. Please just line up in front of the bus. We'll all join you with Governor Crist in just a minute.